Ogopogo! Show yourself to us, Ogopogo, with this beautiful view. That's me, the grown woman who believes in the Ogopogo. I, like most children born and raised in BC, was told stories about the Ogopogo in school. I learned that it lives in the waters of the Okanagan, and that it looks like a mix between a dragon or a horse and a snake. I'm in my 30s and I still believe. I'm highly logical though, and according to the scientific community, the Ogopogo sightings are simply just waves. Kind of like this wave that came up out of nowhere when my friend Parveen and I were kayaking in a neighboring Okanagan lake in September 2019. What we saw was, of course, just waves. I mean, we believe in the spirit of the Ogopogo, but we know there wasn't actually an Ogopogo below us. The waves arise in still lakes when the temperature of the water shifts, essentially cold water churning to the surface, and as a result, we get a cool effect, being the wave. In this documentary, I'm going to be interviewing Jordan Koval, a local First Nations representative who's going to speak about the Nahahatik, or the First Nations name for the Ogopogo. And I'm going to be interviewing this guy, Bill Stasek. He has a website called ogopogoquest.com, and he's been researching and searching for the Ogopogo for over 20 years. He had his first alleged sighting in the 1970s, and he says he's had about 2 to 3 other sightings since. Now, without further ado, let's get started.
My name is Jordan Koval. I'm from West Bank First Nation. I'm from here in the beautiful Okanagan Valley, and I'm the Cultural and Operations Administrator for the West Bank First Nation and the Century Heritage Museum. So Nahahatik is how we refer to the sacred spirit of the water. It's our name for what's commonly known as the Ogopogo, but it's more than just the Ogopogo. Nahahatik is a way of being, it's a way of life, it's our responsibilities. I truly believe that whether they acknowledge it or not, the majority of people of the Okanagan believe in the Ogopogo. I know that to be true because the vast majority of people that I talk to talk about how they look for it. They tell me they don't believe in it, but they look for it. So if you don't believe in it, why are you looking? And so I truly believe that the majority of people, whether they acknowledge it or not, believe that there's something in the lake that gives them that anticipation, that gives them that excitement, and that gives them that sense of connection. It's believed in our hearts to be true as Okanagan people that Nahahatik lives in Nahahatik, which is the home of the sacred spirit of the water, which is just around the bend over there near what's called Rattlesnake Island. Is an area called Squally Point. All I know is the stories of our people, the encounters, the likeness between those stories, the connections, the representation of a green monster, the representation of an animal that is longer than the length of a canoe, the head larger than that of a horse. The stories of some of these encounters connected to a creature with antlers, some not, which leads me to believe that, again, that there's a male and a female. If you think of deer or any other animals in our four-legged lands, the male bucks have antlers and the females don't. And so maybe that's a testament to the science of Nahahatik, or the science of Ogopogo. But really, what I know from our stories is that it's very dependent on fish, specifically the kokanee salmon, which was at one point in time prevalent within our region here in the central Okanagan. They filled our creeks. There's stories of elders within my generation that talk about walking on the backs of salmon across Mission Creek. And that's how many salmon that filled that creek at one point in time. And so I truly believe that we don't see Nahahatik anymore because there's not enough salmon. There's not enough cleanliness in the water. There's too many boats. There's too much disruption. You know, it's just, we are affecting the science of Nahahatik, the life cycle of Nahahatik, the quality of life of the water, the quality of life of everything that's dependent on that, including ourselves. And so when you talk about the science, we're damning Nahahatik by the practices of human beings, of overconsumption, of overpollution and lack of recognition of the rights of all the naturalness around us to exist and the responsibilities for us to ensure that is provided that right to exist.
My name is Bill Stasek, and I've been a researcher and a searcher for Ogopogo in Lake Okanagan. Our patio is right there. My shot from May 2015 and Wendy's shot from this year in February were virtually in the same location, right over that orange thing. Close enough. Yeah. The first time I saw Ogopogo, to my astonishment, was 1978. I saw him off Okanagan Lake Bridge, and there were 6 to 8 other people that were beside me at the time. It was incredible. I saw 3 or 4 black humps going towards Kelowna and what looked like a head that was bobbing in and out of the water. And the other people that were there saw the same thing. Previous to that, I was a skeptic. But after that sighting in '78, I knew that there was something in Lake Okanagan. I believe the picture that I took, it was in May 2015, off my patio, is probably one of the best pictures ever taken of Ogopogo. I always get asked, how come nobody has got a picture that's definite? There's always something wrong with it. It's a little blurry or whatever. Well, there's a really good answer for that. And the answer is, the people that see Ogopogo are so astonished they can have a camera in their hands and they forget to get a picture. So anyway, this is the picture from February this year that you took.
That I took, yeah.
And you can see here that it's got a bit of a body, and then it looks like a couple of fins behind it. And
Don't know.
It was actually moving. We have a duck up here for reference, so it was moving this way. What's so incredible about this picture is this isn't the only one ever taken. Here's a picture taken almost 20 years ago off of Peachland, and it's virtually identical. It's just moving in the opposite direction. So you gotta figure, I mean, is this coincidence? What are the chances that 2 pictures taken that are almost identical, 20 years apart, from different areas of the lake?
Well, and we've been here 12 years.
Yeah.
Here. We've seen all the logs. We've seen all the waves.
But in any event, this was in February of this year. There's no logs in the water.
The logs weren't there yet, because we get a lot of runoff from Mission Creek here.
That happens in April, May. So, and then this is the picture that I took. This is a blow-up of it. Back in May of 2015, it's the same as this. And this was virtually in the same spot. We have latitude and longitude of both these pictures. It was really close. So it was in the drop-off, 20-meter drop-off just over that
Don't you have it marked on here?
Yeah, and it's marked on here where it is.
So this is our building.
Yeah.
And here's the sighting.
Yeah.
Almost both of them in the same spot.
Yeah.
So you can see how far offshore it was.
So that's pretty incredible. And probably this picture is probably one of the best pictures that have ever been taken.
There's not many times that a head has been seen.
No. Well, the head has been seen a few times, but nobody's got a picture of it. For me, it's about proving the existence of an aquatic animal in Okanagan Lake. And for the First Nations, it's part of their spiritual culture.
I believe that all water is interconnected. Many of our stories talk about interconnecting tunnels between the Okanagan Lake and the many lakes that surround our territory up in the mountains. There's stories of items disappearing from Okanagan Lake and reappearing in other lakes. I will never say that the water is disconnected from itself. I believe that our lake is connected to Nicola Lake. I believe our lake is connected to, I know it's connected to the Columbia River. And I do believe, and I know for a fact that there is tunnels underneath these mountains that connect our waters to the mountains. And it's a beautiful thing. And I also believe that due to the overdevelopment of the Okanagan, that many of those tunnels have been caved in, unfortunately, and cut off from their natural traveling routes due to human activity, and that's what we have to be mindful of.
Scientists claim to only know about 3% of what's in the ocean, so there's a whole world of unknowns out there.
Do you think that was the Ogopogo? I don't know. That was crazy. Oh my God, what if it is the Ogopogo?
And sure, this is a lake, not an ocean. But a little part of me does believe that there could be tunnel systems below the Okanagan. It just has the same je ne sais quoi that the spirit of Christmas has.
That totally felt like that just came out of nowhere.
So although it may be far-fetched to believe in an actual sea creature, one thing I know for sure is the spirit of the Ogopogo definitely brings out the believer in me.
Yeah, it's still going. I can see it in the distance. Holy crap, I think we kind of saw the Ogopogo.